successfully we installed a server. So first of all, our Windows 10. What is a Windows 10 or Windows 8, 8.1 or 7, Vista, XP, 2000 Professional and 98 like this. There's so many operating systems are there. There are desktop operating system, desktop OS, or workstation OS, or we can also say desktop operating system or workstation operating system. In an operating system, there is two operating systems are there. Actually, SOS, NOS, simple operating system. So again, simple operating system meaning is our Windows 10, okay, or Windows 8 or Windows 7. These are all simple operating systems only, including DOS also. Okay, DOS is also MS-DOS. This also comes under simple operating system. Network operating system. Usually like a Windows servers, like a 2019. Now we are using 2016. Okay, like that. It keep going 2003, 2000 NT. So till NT it is Windows servers, Linux servers, Unix servers, like this. Different server operating systems are there. Okay, so in a simple operating system means like that. Okay. Of course, there is a different operating systems also there. So in differentiation of operating system, single user, single task, multi-user, sorry, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask operating system. Single user, single task is example is MS-DOS. Single user multitask example is Windows operating system, all Windows operating systems. Multi-user multitasking, that is comes under Linux, Unix operating systems. Okay, so first of all, the question is, what is OS? You know that is operating system, but what is this? Is a simple. They say it is nothing but a application or a software which interacts with user, with hardware. First of all, it interacts with your hardware and user, and provide and runs applications on it. Okay, that is a operating system. You don't know how to give instruction to the hardware, right? So earlier days of first generation, second generation, third generation, that time, so people give manually instruction to the system. Okay, earlier days, I'm not telling which generation it is, like a vacuum choose time or next time also, mostly we'll give electrical signal or coding signals we are giving. So directly we give instruction to the hardware. Okay, so we'll give instructions, we'll get an output and we'll see it. But later on days, the preloaded OSs came up, like you install an operating system into a storage, like a floppy disk or a hard disk. You already put an operating system. When you turn on your computer, OS will be loaded and user will get the direct environment. So user don't require to know how to program the hardware, how to program the hardware. Directly you can able to give the instructions or run the required applications. Okay, so later on days like of course your operating system interact with the hardware and interact with the user, and also we are installing the multiple type of applications and we are running the applications. The application running environment that supporting is also provided from the operating system also. So two different types, SOS, NOS, simple operating system, network operating system. Network operating system means server operating system. And user wise also single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask operating systems also there. Next, the question is, what is the difference between your desktop operating system and this one? So here it is. To run, this is basically to run applications, regular applications required. So just like applications like Office application, okay, or maybe media players, web browsers, web browsing. So we do web browsing, media players, like that. So like a programmers like Java implementation, developments. Those are different purposes we are using it. Okay, and you can play games. You can play games, right? So we can play games. You can record videos. These are all for a user purpose. These are all for a user's purpose. Okay, end user purpose only. End user purpose. Some I got this question in a very old days of my training time. So when I started my career, one guy is asked, sir, I want a Windows, which one is more powerful? So which is Windows Server or a Windows client operating system? So that time 2008 server is launched, and also we have a client is Vista. So he asked which is a more powerful. I said like powerful in the terms of cost. 2008 server is a costly one, and it is more powerful and very important. So then he asked, sir, I want to remove this my Vista and Windows XP. I will install 2008. No, we don't go with that once. It is not good. Means like he said, sir, if you don't know, no problem. We have a friends, they can able to deal with the server. Means they will do whatever they can able to do it. So then no. I cannot able to explain that time because it's a intermediate normal childish candidate. It's like he know the computer but he don't know what is server and all. So thing is, when it comes to the Windows server, any OS server operating system, latest one is 2022 is the latest one. Okay, Windows Server 22 is the latest one. We are using 19 because 22 is compatible with 11. Okay, so now we are talking about a normal any Windows servers it is, and basically a server. Okay, so server means server provide service and client access the service. That is important point. So when it is comes to the servers, server provide a service, client access the service. So what are the services again? So just server services. What are these services? We can see it. Authentication service. It authenticate users like Active Directory services. Okay, Active Directory services, authentication services, web services is a web server. Web server provide a web service. Just I putting for easily. For example, Microsoft IIS, HTTPD. I like that. So different type of web server. I'm talking in a manner of Windows related one only. Okay. So of course, so other services also there. Active Directory, Kerberos service. Okay, authentication service, LDAP services, web server, DHCP server, DNS, VPN, remote access is for a VPN service, WDS Windows Deployment Service, okay. What is the Windows deployment service is, okay, if you want to install operating system to a computer, what you will do, you take a CD or a pen drive and we connect it and we install operating system for one system. You have a 10 computers, one by one you will install it. You have 100 computers, it is very difficult, right? So you have a more computers and you have a less time than you, it is very difficult to install a one by one computer. So what we will do, we install operating system, we install OS through network. Okay, we install OS through networks. That is a WDS service. WSUS is an update service. Of course, we have a Windows 10 and we connected to internet. We have a Windows 10, we are connected to internet. It is getting updated, right? Our Windows is updating. Good. For example, you are working in an organization, means there is a lot of laptops, desktops are there. Everybody is connected to internet for updating. Lot of huge amount of data you are download. Okay, lot of bandwidth you are utilizing. Lot of WAN on your WAN connectivity. So lot of burden is there. Lot of burden means lot of data you are downloading, right? For each individual pieces. What I will do, I put a server. The server download updates and server distribute the updates to all the clients in the LAN. So it will reduce the more bandwidth and we can control what to update, what not to update kind of stuff also. It is a update service, Windows update service. Okay. Not only this, there is a storage services, work folder services, iSCSI services. Okay. So many like a Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a secondary, but still in a some latest servers we got a this kind of stuff. Okay. FSRM, file server, resource manager. Okay. Certification services, ADRMS, ADCS certification services, right management services, federation services. Like this, so lot of services are there. Okay, so when you go to Windows Server, then you can see the list of services in there. Okay, NPS service, network management services, Hyper-V services. So when you go to the latest one, so go to the Hyper-V services, data deduplication. Okay, and I'm talking in a Windows servers manner. Okay, so in a Windows server manner, so Windows server services. So better you put a Windows server services. DHCP provide a assign IP address to client automatically, so dynamically. DNS maps name to IP address and okay, so name to IP address, okay, And important is, okay, give IP address of a host to client as per required. Okay, so these are the basic different services. Of course, FSRM. These are a file server related one. Okay, so iSCSI target server, work folder, EFS, distributed file system. Okay, like this is there is so many services are available, which we don't get in our regular desktop operating system. Okay, server operating system means network related services is provided. Windows 10 is like a client operating system or desktop operating system or workstation operating system. Usually for running regular applications, like I'm running lot of applications here. I can do web Python programming or Java programming. I can run some applications. I can conduct online meetings, right? I do web browsing, YouTube watching. So a lot of things we can able to do it. Okay, in a normal Windows operating system. And of course, it is also act like a client to the server. So we are accessing all these things from the server. Like you are accessing a website means you're accessing a website, meaning is there is a web server. You are getting an IP address. Okay, so I'm getting an IP config. I'm getting this IP address from DHCP server. Okay, I want to communicate. I want to communicate to some google.com or facebook.com, youtube.com. Okay, so I want to communicate it to certain website. I don't know IP address of this website. DNS server will give you IP address of the domain. DNS server will give you IP address of the domain. For remote access, like a connecting VPN access. Okay, so VPN server will give you VPN connection. You can install a operating system through network. You can update the clients through WDS services. Okay, so you can restrict the access of files. Okay, so Mohan is unable to attend. No problem. Okay, certification services, virtualization related, duplication, FSRM. These are a different type of services. So that's the difference between normal Windows to Windows servers. And of course, when it is come to the server means it provide a services and client is meant for accessing the services. Okay, so that is a importance of services, guys. So usually I will tell a big stories. So what is meaning of server? What is peer-to-peer? This is important, peer-to-peer. Next one is work group. Next one is server and client. Server and client, work group, domain. Okay. So in generally, I spoke about a server. When it is come to the server, I will tell about a different type of servers. Okay. So different type of server. Why something is called as a server. So in why we when say a server means there must be some properties. So there must be some properties are there. Okay. Like that. So basically, server become a server in a different manners. basically server based on a services. Call something as a server based on service providing. What are the services provided by a server? So based on that server, for example, it providing a DHCP service. Okay, it's a DHCP server. If it is a providing DNS service, it's a DNS server. If it is a providing a web service, it's a web server. Okay, like this is a continuous. If it is providing a authentication service, it's an Active Directory server or a authentication server. Okay, if it is providing a VPN services, VPN server, like this. There's a several type of servers because already I told, that's why I'm not repeating. Okay, it is deploying a operating system WDS server or a deployment server, like this. Server and services, based on that we call server as a server based on the services. Next, server based on a OS installed. OS, so which OS is there? Like you're having a Windows server, any OS like a Windows Server OSS, install Windows Server OS, then it is a server, Windows Server. That's it. No role, nothing. It's an ideal server, standalone server, but just you install a Windows Server OS, then it is a server. You install a Linux operating system, mainly enterprise Linux operating system. Okay, Linux, not all Linuxes. Enterprise Linux like a Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Saint OS, Fedora, okay, Ubuntu server, like the Ubuntu desktop is there, server is also there, like that. There's a enterprise Linux is there if you're using it. Unix, if you install a Unix is basically server operating system only. So based on that, it is become a server. IBM operating systems also there. Okay, novel netware operating systems also there. So based on that, it is a become a server. Server based on application. A server become a server by installing some application. For example, Oracle database server. Oracle database server, 11G, 12C, or anything. Just you install a Oracle database. It's a database server. So if you want to put a different database servers, MySQL. MySQL is also one of the database server. MariaDB, both are same, of course. Okay. PostgreSQL, like that. There is a database servers are there. Okay. Mail servers like a Microsoft Exchange. Microsoft Exchange, Zimbra, earlier days IBM, now it is belongs to HCL. Okay, Domino. Okay, these are all mail servers. Okay, database servers. Yeah, you can include these names like a DNS server, DHCP server, like that. So based on the services. Okay, like that. So based on you install an application in the machine, so obviously it is become that particular server. MS SQL server. Okay, so mail server, of course, like a Tomcat. Tomcat is an application. Tomcat is an application. Glassfish application. Okay, Oracle WebLogic server. Okay, WebSphere. WebSphere, IBM WebSphere. Okay, IBM WebSphere. This is belongs to IBM. So if any mistakes are there, so also it covers type IBM WebSphere. This is Oracle related. This is Apache. Tomcat is belongs to Apache. Okay. Apache Tomcat, Glassfish, WebLogic Server. Okay, so then we can go like a JBoss or Wildfly. The name is changed. That is belongs to Red Hat. This belongs to Red Hat. So what is these servers? What is these servers? Is a application come web servers. Okay. Application come web server, application and web servers. So because the web service is included inside. Okay. So just for an example, I'm telling, so there is a lot of things are there. So you can go for it. So what makes a server as a server? That is what I'm trying to say. Server means it provides a service. That's it. Okay. And also based on some installation of application in the machine. So then it is also providing a certain services. Like you install a Oracle DB, it become a database server. Install a Exchange server, it is become a mail server. You install a Tomcat, it is become a web server come thing. Okay. Or application server. Okay. Just you install operating system. Also, we can call that is as a server. Like Windows Server, we are calling it, right? So like that. It's not providing any, even though if it is not providing a particular services, but still we can call it as a server. But actually, servers are based on a services only. Okay. Next, hardware wise. So when you say normal PC cannot be a server, okay, of course you can make it as a server, but it not perform as a server. So tower server, rack server, plate server. So depends upon your hardware, guys. So tower servers, it's just a hardware part only. Normal hardware, we are using i3 processor, i5 processor, i7 processors. Okay, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM. But these are all powerful hardware is there. Onboard RAID controllers like that. So the motherboard having a very big kind of stuff. It is there. So we'll see that's how it is look like. Our server. Okay, you can go to HP website and all. You can see what is how it is look like. Our server. Right? This is a Dell PowerEdge server. It is look like a normal computer, PC kind of stuff, but it is the original. It is beginner hardware configuration. Okay. So I went to one website. Okay, this is a rack server. This is a rack server. See, look at here. It is Dell powered T40 tower server. The cost of the server is also you can see by including one by one. Base cost is there and as well as one by one you can use. It's a base server. Okay. Stuff it is there. Okay. What is a base server means? Xeon processor, 8 MB cache, 4 core 4 thread turbo processor it is. 8 GB RAM. It is a very minimum basic server. Okay. Onboard RAID controller is also there 0 and 1. Okay. It's we can use like you have a money, then you can buy this one with the 54,000. And if you want to add anything, you can add it. You can add a operating systems also like this standard edition. If you want it, it is 75,000 like this. Okay, so this is a just like a normal computer only, but it is a capacity of processor and internal components capacity is different. So this is also a Dell EMC server, rack server it is. Okay, so it's a 4,21,000 something is there. Okay, so you can see one CPU configuration is there by default. You can customize this one. So what type of processor you want it? Xeon Gold processor. Okay, Xeon Silver processor you are getting. If you want other processor, you can change it also. Okay, the RAM you are getting is 16 GB RAM. 2 16 GBs you are getting. Okay, and of course SSDs, SCSI connections like that. So other things also you will get it. The rack, the difference between tower and rack. So tower is look like a normal computer. Okay, for a small organization who want to put a 1 or 2 computers only, 1 or 2 servers only. That is tower server is better. You have a more servers are required. So then we'll go to the rack. The rack is like this. So we'll go to rack. So racks are is like a one single rack like this. We'll insert it into these boxes. Backside power connections, network connections, fiber optical connections, everything is there, including storage related connections. Also, you will get it like a backside connections, front and back connections also there. So next one is blade server. Okay, blade servers will fit into one single rack. So in this rack, we have a multiple blades inside. You can see this is the rack, this is the blade. Blade size is very smaller. Blade size is very smaller. We can fit it into this kind of stuff. So you need a more servers in the single place. You can use blade servers also. Okay, so when you say it is a server, even though it is not providing any directly a service, it is based on the hardware wise. We are also calling it as a server. Very simple it is. There is a 3 type of servers are there: tower server, rack server, blade server. Okay, so these are the different type of servers we have. So again, mainly server provide a service, client access the service. Server provide different type of services: DHCP service, DNS service, WDS service, virtualization services like that. Yeah, when we forget one more thing. Nowadays, we have to call this one as like we have to talk about this one also, because virtualization. Server, hypervisor servers, server virtualization related one. Okay, so here it is from VMware. It is a vSphere. Okay. ESXi. VMware, vSphere or SXi is there. vSphere is a product, platform is SX. It's a hypervisor server, means virtualization purpose. Okay, this for purpose is virtualization. Exactly say server virtualization. This belongs to server virtualization. Microsoft Hyper-V, direct Hyper-V, core Hyper-V servers. Citrix is an organization. Then server. Proxmox, providing Proxmox, EV, the virtualization environment. So that is also a server virtualization. Okay, server virtualization, type 1 virtualization, hypervisor servers. Red Hat is also there. Red Hat RHEV, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. Okay. So these are all server related information. Guys, understand at least some point, at least 5%, 10%. Important is Windows servers, because you are discussing about Windows servers. Can I go to next?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here it is, peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer means two PCs sharing information. You can simply say two PCs are there, they're sharing information like a shared folder, printer sharing. Example is shared folders, printer sharing. These are the peer-to-peer. Two PCs are communicating or sharing information. Okay, so this is a very simple example is peer-to-peer. Individually, server and client, again same thing. Server provide to multiple client PCs. Got it? Server is a system. It provides services to multiple PCs. For example, I have a web server. There is a web server. Means lot of people access a website. Access website from web server. Right? One single server, multiple clients. Not as a single to single sharing. It is one to many sharing kind of stuff. So example is web server or a DHCP server. DHCP server provide a IP address, configure or assign IP addresses to clients. That is a server and client. Again, in this server and client, we will go to here only. So what makes a server as a server? Based on the different service providing. For example, if it is a mail server, I'm a mail client. Access the mails from the mail server. Like that, multiple users can able to send and receive a mails through the mail server. I can insert the data. I can retrieve the data through the database servers. Okay. Like this, whatever it is, based on application or based on service providing. So a server is a server, client is a client. Okay. Here it is. There is no server, no client, no centralized kind of stuff. No centralized kind of. It is a centralized server. Okay. Centralized. No centralized here. Just for example, okay, just for understanding. Even though you know it is a centralized, no centralized. Yeah. The last part is workgroup and domain. This is very important. Okay, very important. Workgroup and a domain. So it's the most common question in any end of you attend. That is workgroup and domain. What is workgroup? What is domain? Guys, once I finish a workgroup and domain, next we'll see how to install a domain controller. How to install a domain controller. Okay, how to configure domain controller things, we'll show it. What is a workgroup? So what is a workgroup? Then we need a diagram. Of course, it is look like all our practicals. Of course, very big practicals, guys. Not like a Windows 10. So practicals are like a we do in something in server, we check in the client. Okay, two machines are required to understand. And of course, you have to understand a lot of theory also is important. Guys, these are all my computers. All are connected to network. These are all my computers. All are connected to a network. Listen very carefully. Okay, so I will ask some questions. It's a very simple to understand by asking your questions. First question is, you have your laptop or a desktop computer is there. For example, this is the PCA, PCB, PCC, PCD, E, F. So this is my computer names. My computer names. Okay. For example, you are a user. For example, your username is student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6. So I like this. I configure like this: student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6, like this. I configure. Okay, so now what happened? Where is the student account is student 1? Where is the student 1 account is located? Location. Where it is located? Where student 1 information located? PCA. In the PCA. For student 2, where student 2 information located?
PCB.
PCB only. Okay, like student 3, student 4, like individually there are there. All are admins only. All are admins. Okay, all are admins. So I want to install some application or uninstall some application in the PCA. In the PCA, who can able to do it? Only student 1 can able to do it. Student 2 cannot able to do it because it is belongs to other computer.
Student 1.
Belongs to, yeah, tell me. For example, I will tell you once again. Okay, so you want to do something administration or a setting, or you want you implement a policy. Okay, you want to do some disk management. Okay, like that. Okay, so or you want to install application or uninstall an application. Who can able to do it? The administrator of that PC only. We don't have any centralized administrator or a common user. Individual user log in to the PC and administrate it. Okay, so that is the first thing. It does not contain any centralized administration. No centralized administration. First one. Second one. No centralized administration. Individual. Individual system has own administrator. Okay, as a own administrator, we have every PC. Every PC has their own individual, or every PC you can use that word also. Every PC or every system or a PC has their own administrator. Okay, so no centralized administration. We have one administrator. Okay, next. This is a S1 is there. Okay, for example, today work is completed. What happened? Suddenly this piece is down. C piece is down. C piece is down. Now S3 came into S3 came to office, find CPC is down. Then now you want to start working. You want to log in the DPC. So DPC user is went outside, or his duty is not there now. So he want to log into DPC. Can he log in? S3 belongs to CPC. Now CPC is not working. Now he want to log in with the DPC. Can he log in?
No, sir.
Very good. No. Why? Because of S3 details don't know by D. We have to create all user accounts.
No centralized administration.
No centralized administration. Very good. So what we have to do? You have to create a S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6 in every 1, 3, okay, 4. Like every system you have to create, because we don't know which system fails, which user going to sitting in which place. So compulsory you have to go to each and every PC and we have to create a accounts in all our PCs. Otherwise you can't log in. Of course, again, different authentications, not a same user. S3 is here, S3 is also here, but both are different users. Just the name is same, but their authentication is different. Identification is also different. Okay, so here it is 2 points. Every administrator will take care of their PC, no centralized administration, and a user cannot able to log in to other computers because other computer don't know your authentication. Okay, so that point we'll add it. User cannot log in to other PCs. That's one thing. Okay. Next, guys, if you are looking at my background, for example, I have a lot of icons and data in my desktop. I have 100 computers. I have 5 computers in my office. I put a rule. I'm the boss. Put a rule. Users don't put a data and shortcuts on the desktop. So what I have to do? I put a rule. Then I have to verify, right? I go to each and every PC. There's a 5 computers only there, or 10 computers. I go to each and every PC and look at, yeah, you created a lot of data. It is delete it or transfer to D drive or E drive. I don't want to you put a data on the desktop. Understand? I put a rule and also I have to verify is users are creating or not. Okay. Or otherwise I create a local group policy. Okay. I create a local group policy in every PC. I go to each and every PC. I implement a policy. User should not create anything on the desktop. Should not save anything on the desktop. Okay. So that is I created a policy. Then policy is applied. So 10 computers, no problem. Think if it is 100 computers, can you able to go to check each and every computer? Can you able to create a policy in each and every computer?
No, sir.
No. Very good. Not only no, it is very, very difficult. I'm not saying impossible, but it is very difficult, right? So that is another thing. For example, desktop. Yeah, tell me.
More time will be wasted.
Yeah, it will take a lot of time. Very good. Okay, so you have to spend a lot of time. Meanwhile, someone will create some data, right? So like this, lot of burden on administration. Next, yeah, usually when normally in our Pune, so more touch with the Pune systems. So if mostly the girls are very high in Pune classes. So what they will do in a desktop environment, they will put a flowers, puppies, kind of stuff. Okay, so flowers and puppies. I said, oh, no, don't use only default desktop wallpaper. Don't change the wallpaper. And if boys are came, then it is they put a Avengers or a Joker. Joker movie release, no, the Joker photos or Avengers photos or Batman or big cars, right? So people keep changing. So one time someone put a different kind of stuff. That's we don't discuss now. So usually the people will keep changing my desktop. So then I don't want it like that. How to go to each and every PC, implement a policy that users should not change their desktops. Okay, or I have to tell use only this desktop. I have to go to each and every PC, configure the desktop settings, desktop wallpaper setting. It is very difficult if huge number of computers are there. So like that, we cannot able to control individual PCs. Okay, so PCs are controlled by individually, but not centrally. Okay, PC are a system. These are systems controlled individually, not centrally. Of course, we don't have any central server kind of stuff. Central server or central control system, we are not using it here. So very simple. What is a work group? Individual PC, individual PCs. No centralized control, no centralized access permissions like that. Okay. No centralized control, no centralized servers. We don't use it here. Okay. For authentication and access kind of stuff. Okay. Inside the administrator can able to control it. That is a thing. So lot of burden on the more number of system controlling more number of systems is difficult. Next one is a domain. Guys, when you search about a domain, always search about a AD domain, Active Directory domain in a Google. Otherwise, it will give you different answer. Okay. So I will tell that the two definitions of a domain. So then we'll see this. Here it is. I build one big server. This is my server. Okay. So this server name is DC1. Okay. Server name is DC1 or a server 1. You can put anything. No problem. This is my server. Now, this is a domain controller. So this is a domain controller. This is a centralized server. What I have done, I join the computers into here. So what it will maintain, it maintain a centralized database. So I put all the computers, means what are the computers are there, I'll put it in my system. And I create a users here. User 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, okay, user 6, user 7, user 8, like this. I created some users, or user 9, user 10. So we'll get at least 10 users, 4 computers only added. So we have 6 computers, but added only 4 computers here. That is when we do practically, you'll understand what is adding. But look at here, users and computers stored in the central server only, not in a individual PCs. Like a S1, S2, S3 are users, information stored in A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. But here it is, user information stored in a centrally, computer information also stored in centrally. So the computers in the domain, computers in this one called a domain computers, users in the server, we call it as a domain users. So it's okay. Now what I have to do is I'm putting a logical part, but it is not doing that one. So this is a logical boundary. Very good. Okay, it is a logical boundary. So like we'll put it like this. Okay, so it is a logical boundary. Look at here, it is those who are in my domain, I can administrate, I can control them. Okay, I can my users can log in directly to any of the PC. Okay, so that is a centralized administration. So again, we'll come back to that one. So first of all, I will write it is a centralized administration. Individual PCs now, so it provide a centralized authentication. Use a central server to control now central server, and here it is we have a central server. Okay, domain users can log in to any of the domain computers. Next. Okay, so here it is. My user 1 want to log in here, user 2, user 3, user 4 log in here. Now today and next day something is happened. Like my one of the PC is not working, or maybe user want to change their places. User want to change their places. For example, tomorrow user 4 is try to log in here. Okay, and user 3 is trying to log in here, user 1 trying to log in here, like that. Can he log in? So users can log into any of the PC in the domain. Users can able to log into any of the PC in the domain. How? Well, because of users will authenticate centrally. User will get authenticate centrally, not in a individual PCs. User information not stored in the individual PC. It stores in the central PC. Okay. So user can log into any of the PC in the domain until unless you restricted it. If you restricted it, then restriction will apply. Understand, guys? Point number 1. Then I will ask one question. I want to log in with user 5 here. Can I log in this one?
Yes, sir. In
Yeah, in a EPC, I want to log in with the user 5.
no, sir, you cannot.
I cannot able to log in. Then why?
Because it is not centralized.
Very good.
It is, sir.
So my domain computers are A, B, C, D, not E. I didn't written in my database. E is not written here. So it meaning is it is not in my domain. So obviously my users cannot log into EPC. Very good. Okay. So those who are in my domain, they logically belongs to me only. So some people will get confused. My sir told one example, I will tell. For example, your belongs to ABC party. So political party, they talk about political party. Is religion and all, it is not good to give an example because religion is little difference is there in a grouping. Okay, so political parties, for example, you belongs to political party. Okay, now your political party given some instruction or some information or spreading money like a, so ABC party thing, all my members of the party should wear white color dress, should wear a white and white dress only. Then you are a member of that party, you should wear it, right? You should wear it, so that because of you are a member, so obviously you should obey that one. So centralized control. Or I put a thing is there is a multiple lot of people in a roadside, like a lot of people are there. Okay, for example, these three people are belongs to ABC party. Okay, he is not a ABC party, so he is not required to wear a white dress. It's his choice only. So he whatever he want to wear, he will wear it. So it's not required to wear the white and white dress only, or black and black dress only, or green and green dress only, red and red dress only, kind of stuff. Not required. He is out of membership. He's not our member. Is in our group or maybe is in a different group. Our policies won't apply on a other person. Or maybe I think all my members, the people working members, I will give you 10,000 rupees per month. Okay, for their expenditures, for their like a salary, I want to give 10,000 rupees per month. So all these three people will get a 10,000 rupees, but he won't get it. He won't get it. Why? Because of he's not in the, he's not a member of my ABCT party. You tell me. Got it right? So like that, if you are a member of the domain, the policies or control access will occur. If you're not a member of the domain, you are not getting anything from the domain related services. Domain related services. I'm not talking about a server related services. I'm talking about a domain related services. Domain related services are two things. One is maintaining central database, authenticating users, okay, and apply policies to users. Okay, so here it is. It is a very simple workgroup. Is a no centralized administration. Individual PCs are administrated by their own administrator. User cannot log into other PCs. Okay, no centralized control. Okay, systems controlled individually, not centrally. Okay, no centralized servers. Control more number of systems is difficult. A domain is a centralized administration, centralized authentication, central server is there. Domain users can log into any of the domain computers. That is a very basic thing. Okay. We apply policies. We create a policies in the server, apply policies to domain users and computers centrally. It is a total control. So central control is there. Centralized control is there. Okay, burden on the administrator will be reduced. So this is central, no central kind of stuff. Domain and workgroup differences. So most common question is, what is the difference between workgroup and domain? So compulsory. This is a very important question. So go through it. Next. Again domain. AD domain. So always a domain or AD domain, guys. So when you are, if you want to search in a Google, for example, you want to go through the Google part. So then always search in a AD domain. Otherwise, you will get a different type of answers. Domain is the most common English word. Okay, which domain you are belongs to? I belongs to cloud. I belongs to Windows Server. I belongs to networking. I belongs to IT field or non-IT field or maybe mechanical engineering. So that is your domain, your way, the work, or maybe your group, the grouping. Okay, so some people will give an answer, different answers. They forget about what are we speak. So they will tell a different answers. Guys, when you comes to the domain, it is logical, administrative boundary of users and computers. Already I told this is a logical boundary. All are in the same network only. All are in the same network only, but it is there is a boundary. Your users can log into ABCD but not E and F. Okay, because of ABCD is in the my domain. So even though there are in the same network, but there is a logical boundary is there. Okay, users and computers. Next, what is this active directory? If you search about a active directory, it not give any information about a very less information, that is not a correct information also. So normally active directory is a Windows server, a service, a Microsoft service. Now it is changed Windows to Microsoft. Okay, it is introduced in Microsoft server service, introduced in a 2003. Okay, in Windows server 2003 onwards it is a thing. So 2000 I think, so active directory is in 2000. Okay, so we can see that that's one letter. So ADDS, active directory domain service. Guys, no difference. This is introduced in 2008. Name is changed. Active directory domain services name is changed in 2008. Okay, because of in NT it is different. Okay, so whatever it is, guys, what is a active directory or what is a active directory domain services? No difference. No difference. Only thing is which server, which type of name it is there. That's it. Not much. What is an active directory? Active directory is a directory service which is having a database. Okay, so when it is say like a active directory is nothing but a active directory database. It is a directory service. Okay, so active directory is a directory service. What is directory service again? That is again different. It's a directory service. Provide a directory service maintaining active directory database. Okay, so I'm removing this part. Active directory, when it is comes to the active directory database, not active directory. It is when it is a question is asked, what is active directory? Then answer is active directory database. You have to start with the active directory database stores identity of users, computers, groups, resources, services. Very important is users, computers, and groups. At least users and computers. At least you have to tell. Active Directory database stores identity of users, groups, computers, resources, and services. And it also do authentication service. authenticate users and computers when they log into domain. Okay, so two directory services are there. Active Directory, directory services. Active Directory, directory services are there. What is maintaining Active Directory database and authenticate users and computers when they log in. Okay, what is an Active Directory? Active Directory, directory service. So you can tell Active Directory. This is not a correct answer, guys. This is just something like just additional part like that one. It's not important. Important one is what is an Active Directory or ADDS, whatever it is. It's a directory service. Two services. Active Directory database stores identity of users, groups, computers, resources, and services, and it authenticate users and computers when they log into domain. How it is authenticate? Because of it is oh, so domain controller installation won't happen now. So yeah, it will happen. So don't worry. Next only I will show you. Okay, because of your Active Directory stores database inside. Okay, so this is basic thing. So one small part I will tell, and then database name is there, ntds.dit. Active Directory database name is ntds.dit. ntds.dit. Okay, what is nt? What is nt?
New technology.
Very good. New technology directory service dot directory information tree. Authenticate. Authentication. We are doing authentication, right? Authentication service is also there. So the service name is Kerberos. Kerberos authentication and LDAP authentication. Both are it is doing. Kerberos means Kerberos. The port number is 88. LDAP is also a service. Port number is 389. Okay. I think you know the port numbers. If not, then we'll discuss in some random session. Okay. So these are the two things you must be remember. What is an Active Directory? Active Directory database store identity of users and computers, and it also authenticate users and computers when they log into domain. Active Directory database name is ntds.dit, and authentication protocols. Authentication protocols is Kerberos and LDAP. Kerberos port number is 88, LDAP port number is 389. So this is about your basics of server kind of stuff, guys. What is an operating system? What is simple operating system? Network operating system. Okay, single user multitasking, single user single tasking, multi-user multitasking, operating systems and their example. Difference between normal Windows 10 to Windows servers, and what are the Windows Server services generally it is providing. Some of at least you should understand, and we can able to speak. Okay. What is a server? Means server provide a service and client will access the services. Mostly when you say server means it based on the services only. Okay, so it will provide a service either by installing an operating system and roles in the servers or applications in the server, or a it's a type of server operating systems like a hypervisor operating system Of course, we use a hardware to install a server operating system. A specific hardware like a tower server, rack server, blade type of servers. We install the OSs. And also we discussed about the peer-to-peer. It means you're trying to communicate between, trying to share data or information between two computers. So some people think peer-to-peer means directly connected, point-to-point connected. Not required, guys. Here it is like a shared folder type or printer sharing. One server, like this PC is giving information to other PC. This act like a server, this act like a client in this particular instant only. If this server is providing information, if it is accessing, this is become client, this is become server. That is peer-to-peer. Server and client. Server client is means server always provide a services like a web server kind of stuff, DHCP server, DNS server. This is, it will always provide a server. It is a centralized one, and clients, multiple clients can able to access the service from the server. Examples I have written here. Next one is workgroup and domain. So workgroup is a centralized device. Workgroup is a no centralized administration, no centralized server, no centralized controlling on it. Okay, every PC is administrated individually. Next, domain, the centralized administration, centralized authentication, central server, centralized control is there. We can apply a policy on users and computers, so then users and computers will behave as per that one. Means 100 computers are there, I given a network policy or maybe desktop related policies like that. So I create a group policy and apply, so then multiple users and groups will affect with the policies. Okay, domain users can log into any of the domain computers. There is no restriction of you have to log in here. Of course, you have to create that one. So I said it is a very important question. So what is workgroup and domain? Next, what is domain or AD domain? Is logical administrative boundary of users and computers. Okay, Active Directory is a domain. Active Directory services. Okay, Active Directory database stores identity of users and computers and authenticates users and computers when they log into domain. Database name is ntds.dat, new technology directory service, directory information tree. And also we use authentication protocols, Kerberos and LDAP protocols. Port number 88 and 389. So next part, so we'll see how to install a domain controller. So total settings, we'll do it. Then we'll close it tomorrow. I will show you how to log in with the users because we don't have a time. The first one is I will stop recording. So relax for 5 minutes and